viewers, we are here again for the Black Giant Show podcast. Woo! What is he coming with this time? I know that's a question in the minds of my audience, but you see, this time I'm coming so soft, I'm coming so easy, and I'm not going to get it hard on you. My guest is a calm guest this time around, calm guest. But of course, we are going to be talking about the social media. The abuse of it, the benefit of it, the importance, and all that you need to know about the social media. We'll also dive into how to make money. You understand now, money with the platform of the social media. And today, I am hosting one very important friend of mine. When it comes to social media, he doesn't just have the head knowledge, he has the practical knowledge of everything that has to do with the social media. He's a certified Microsoft professional. If you know what that means, you should know that today is going to be a day that you should take out all the data you have on your phone for this section. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and ladies, let's give it up to Mr. Ezekiel Ogbole, Master Zik.
Thank you very much for having me.
Ziko, thanks for coming around. Yes,
I always feel like home to be here.
Of course, it is home.
I'm excited.
Some people doesn't know that when you say Black Giant, you're talking about certain people like Mr. Ezekiel. Yeah, you know when you say Black Giant, they're looking at Mr. Lawrence, but let me shock you. The logo you see out there that you admire so much was designed by Mr. Ezekiel. The concept, the idea behind it, I just told him do something for Black Giant and he designed the logo. Let's have Mr. Ezekiel. So Mr. Zik, you are welcome to the Black Giant Show and we appreciate your presence. Now, I did my own introduction based on the level of understanding and based on what I know about you, but I believe you're going to do more elaboracy to it. So let's meet you.
Well, thank you very much. Like I said earlier, it's always good to be home. And Black Giant's signature and all of its subsidiaries means home to me.
Of course.
So it's safe to say I am home.
You are home.
And thanks for having me. My name is Ezekiel, Ezekiel Ogbole. Like you said earlier, a certified Microsoft professional. I've been on this digital space for quite a while, over a decade. And I've transgressed and evolved from one phase to the other. And on the subject you're referring to today, I believe I've gathered the rights, the certification, and the authority to speak on this. Profoundly because I am also one who exists on the social media space, and I'm also a human being with that tendency to socialize.
That's right.
Putting this together, I think both the digital and the tendency to socialize, I think it's good to say I'm qualified to speak.
Qualified to speak. So here we go, Mr. Ezekiel Ogbole. My first question for you today, since we're talking about social media, is what is social media?
Well, from the very basic and from the fundamental side, there's no mystery to what social media is. Just take it from the concept social and media. It simply means a medium for socializing. But you can't adequately define social media as just a medium for socializing without including technology.
That's right.
And if you look at it critically, medium for socializing has been with us through the times. Why? Because why I say this is because socializing is very much part of our human tendencies. In fact, humans are called social beings.
That's right.
And like I said, through the times of the primitive eras of our forefathers, they have been socializing, although in a very primitive way.
Yes.
And it started from town crying within a small setting. It graduated into the era of radio. Then television added its own strand. And then it graduated into what we have today. The only difference from the traditional means to what we have today is that technology had assisted to promote and boost the presence and visibility in how we socialize, to a point that the walls that used to separate continents has been broken. So much that you can interact with someone that is continent apart as if you are in the same space and in the same time, from different time zones.
Before now, people people before the advent of social media to a point, people saw it as something strange. I could remember the point where 5G came up. People started saying it's demonic, it's this, it's that. You know, we had that experience even before this time. Yes, but all of a sudden we all practice it. You know, I mean, we all use that platform for what we're doing now. Do you think there's something about to happen through the social media platform that will still be more strange than what it's happening now?
It's good you ask this question, but humans have not changed really. If you look at it, and what I mean by this is that every new thing will always resist change. Every new thing, humans will always resist change until they begin to see, to understand the true intention behind it.
That's right.
But every time you want to introduce change to a space, because it's going to contend with the things you're familiar with.
That's right.
People put up defense and resistance.
That's true.
But sooner rather than later, when you begin to reap from the benefits of those things, they begin to adjust their position.
That's right.
So it's not strange to find that. It's not strange to find people resist it from its onset. And now the same people who criticize it are benefiting solidly. That's from it today. That's so you see that.
Okay, my next question, Mr. Zeke. What is the intention of the social media platform?
Let me go this way. When you talk of intention, let me look at it from the angle of those people who are in charge of creating those systems or those platforms that enable us to socialize.
Yes.
To be fair and honest to the likes of the Mark Zuckerberg, the Elon Musk, or the X, to be fair to them, I want to truly say that their intention for creating or initiating that innovation that allows us to socialize is pure. Okay. And if we leave social media within the framework of just being a tool, social media is a very important tool for socializing and communicating. That is, if we leave it as a tool.
As a tool.
But when you begin to look beyond just social media as a tool, you begin to allude several meanings to it. For instance, social media had graduated from just being a tool, which was the original intention of the creators, into becoming something that is determining how we live today. It started as an assistive tool to assist us in doing and communicating, socializing. But today, it has now become something that is determining how, what, and how we do things, even physically and online. You understand? So if we had left it within the framework of, okay, it's just a tool, everything would have been fair and good. But right now, it has become a determining tool, determining and deciding how we live, socialize, and interact. Within that framework, you now begin to see that it comes with challenges here.
Do you think we are really maximizing the social media space?
It's not a direct yes or a no answer.
Okay.
Because social media is two-way. Yes, one of which is yes to an extent. Some persons who truly understand what it's meant for are using it. But on the other end, there are people who are not mentally or intellectually developed to understand
to use it well.
And it's a desert, it's a jungle of mixed crowd. It's a jungle of mixed crowd. And you can't give what you don't have.
What you don't have.
So there are people who are cooking contents that aberrate and interfere with our cultural space so much that it is polluting the system and causing a lot of havoc.
I was even coming to that. In the name of using the platform of the social media, you know, in the name of using the platform of the social media, we've seen all kinds of content. Some of which is not good for children, some of which is not even good for adults, you know. So how do you think one can regulate the use of social media for positive impact?
Yes, you see, to be frank with you, anything that is consumed by many people, the issue of regulating it is a little bit difficult.
I see.
But thankfully, since it's technology,
technology
can be used to regulate it. But you know, some places like our own geographical locations, there's always going to be a way to outsmart even the algorithms. Otherwise, the creators of social medias I can't tell you how many litigations that Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp is having to face right now to speak to you. Are you aware that currently they are threatening to, Mark Zuckerberg is threatening to close down WhatsApp in Nigeria?
I was told.
Good. And these are because of some of those things, because it's believed by the government of the day that they are using the platform, to prevent a lot of things that they should be doing. Now, you can't entirely regulate it, because you can't start going door to door telling people how to use this thing. And if I want to be fair with the likes of Mark Zuckerberg and the rest, they have done a little bit fine with algorithms. There are certain things that if you say
or post,
they bring it down instantly.
That's true.
That is the work of an algorithm. But again, humans are humans. They will always find a way to outsmart those things.
That's
they can use beep to shut down that section. However, the message has been passed. Would you blame the likes of Mark Zuckerberg for those things?
Of course not.
So it's a polluted space, and we have the good and bad. We'll have to find a way to mingle.
Wow, that's true. We have to find a way to mingle, because what is going on now, especially now that the Nigeria social media space has been monetized, everybody in the name of posting content, you just see all kinds of things. But that takes me to my next question. What are the positive impacts of the social media platform?
Okay, primarily because of the visibility, because of the fact that social media is graphically limited.
Yes.
Is not geographically limited.
It's not, yes.
Because of that single reason, a lot of things can happen.
That's right.
One, Meta today exists, and that has created the most easiest way for anybody who is into business to do business. That's one of the advantages.
Yeah, it's true.
What I mean by this is, many times ago, people would have to depend and budget for having a space to do business. But today, I can't count how many persons that I have personally assisted. And
to open a business platform,
to shock you, they are doing even much more than
better than someone that has a shop.
And they are selling just from the comfort of their home. You get that now?
That's right.
One of the positive benefits of social media. Secondly, social activism has evolved and grown tremendously because of social media. We now have the likes of VDM, whose voice may not be heard if not for social media.
That's right.
So much that he has promoted an idea by his concept through social media. We have come to understand the ills and the misdeed going on within the cream or cosmetic creating industry. And now we are now aware consciously. And there are several other things that have now come to the public knowledge of most of us. That is courtesy of social media.
That's true.
So there are several advantages, several benefits. Another one again is Facebook monetization. What does that do? It creates an avenue for nobody to become persistent with creating content to the degree that they can build a life out of it.
Yes.
Are you also aware that the likes of Sabinus, the likes of Nas Boy and the rest, there is a whole set of new industry that has been bettered as a result of social media.
That's right.
Those guys are making not just a living, but are impacting lives on a larger scale, because all they do is create and post content. Now flip it. Imagine what would have become of the person of Sabinus, for instance, if there was no social media.
If there was no social
Just think about it.
Because accessing the stage for stand-up comedy and all that is very difficult.
Good.
You can't just access it.
So now you see, those are positive advantages that social media, a whole new industry has been bettered.
That's right.
And billions of dollars are being made from just that tiny sector. And that has also been democratized, so that anybody without prejudice or bias can belong to that same space, create and make money.
But why do you think there was a delay? Because prior to this monetization of our country, Nigeria, and all that, other countries were enjoying this monetization thing for a while. Why do you think there was a delay? Why does Nigeria had to come at last when other countries have been enjoying it? Yes.
There has always been a bias, a prejudice against the black. And in very tiny, simple, and sometimes subtle ways, those biases show off. I'm not trying to criticize or blame or put it on anybody, no.
I get your point.
But if you check critically, it may not be far from that. Also, to be fair and frank, I believe they are trying to understudy the character and the personality of the Nigerians.
Of the Nigerian space.
Because you can't take away the fact that a Nigerian man can always want to look for a way to outsmart the system. You know, they must want to be sure of credible ways to tame.
That's true.
Before you finally get to this place.
Yeah.
And just be sure that, I mean, most of those checks and balances must have been done.
They are doing it already, because I saw the criteria for your page to be monetized, and then your kinds of content and all that is also part of it.
And even that, you can see how everybody is trolling and trooping upon themselves to smart and outsmart just to get it done. You know, and these are things that would have taken a natural course in other destinations.
That's true.
You see that. So
all right, so everything that has a positive side also have the negative side. So what are the negative aspects of the social media platform?
Thank you very much. When you talk about the negative impact of social media, there are many.
Are there more many than the positive side?
No, the number of positivity is not even, or negativity is not even the issue. Because positive is positive, negative is negative. Even if it's 1 against 1 or 1 against 20. Positive is positive, negative is negative. As long as positive exists with negative, there's a concern. Negative in the sense, if you talk of social media, first of all, there are words that have become true today that are negative that we didn't know about 10-15 years ago. And they are negative. Number 1, cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying,
what was it?
It was almost not in existence some years ago.
Where did you start hearing it? But every time you talk cyberbullying, it is because social media was here. And what is cyberbullying? Harassing, embarrassing, abusing, and attacking the person and character of people online. People have taken it as a trade.
Because they are not physically present. You can just be in your house.
People are taking it as a trade.
Yes.
We have it today. People can just sit down and blacklist somebody, even if they don't have personal relationship, have never met that person,
and because they have fans and followers, they can just
look at what happened to this billionaire man, this Lipopo's brother. What's his name again? E-money. Somebody from nowhere tried to leverage on the pain of the late Pope. And said he was, and thank God for, I believe E-money has budget for nonsense. And he had to track
budget for nonsense.
And then when he was arrested, guess what he said? He didn't even know anything. He was just speaking.
Because he had access to the social media.
Cyberbullying is one of the biggest problems we have. And if you're not careful, that cyberbullying can lead to the destruction and the damage of self-esteem on some people.
True. Their brands, businesses, and all.
Can you see the consequences? Secondly, and this goes to parents to be aware, there are 5 structures of influence. Now, because social media is viral, is social, and is global, right? Beside the fact that we communicate with it, we can now also share values. People can create content and dish it out, not knowing that through those content, people can begin to borrow cultures, traditions.
That's right.
It's not just communication. We now can share values. We now can share cultures. We now can share beliefs. To the point that today we are dealing with 5 structures of influences on the social space. LGBT plus, LGBTI. What do they stand for? And every parent must be cautious of this, because now there are people who sit down and calculate and prepare, dish out content that intentionally is designed to infiltrate and cause people to become one of these things or more of these things I'm going to be mentioning. The acronym is LGBTI: lesbianism, gayism,
G,
B, bisexuality, T, transgender, I, intersex, and the plus is space for other things to come.
Wow.
Before this day, I don't know what it means to be a transgender.
I'm telling you, I think I can't even remember when I got to hear that.
But because most of the content are unfiltered and uncensored.
Even some of our cartoons of recent.
Good. And these things crawl in innocently. And because we have a problem with the Gen Zs, what is the problem we have with them? The Gen Zs are not intellectually smart and disciplined enough to tell the difference between important and non-important, trivial and substance.
They carry up everything.
To even tell you how unprepared for this generation they are. They trivialize what is not important and substantiate what is trivial. So anything they see, they swallow it hook, line, sinker. And so there's a problem. So that somebody can now sit down and say, although I am so kind of sex, but I'm feeling like I am this. When even a dog understands the place of his bed, the parameter of his, he understands the territory of his creation, and they respect that boundary. Even a goat understands the territory of his sexuality, and they stay within that frame. But what is the human problem? Intelligence. Intelligence, the same thing that should be a blessing, is now being twisted to be a problem. And because there's no capacity intellectually to filter between what is cultural to us and what is anti-cultural, we take down everything. And today we are dealing with a peculiar situation.
Very peculiar situation. What you just talked about now is one of the major challenge, and I must give you the accolade for going that way, because I watched a particular cartoon recently, although not a Nigerian made, and then I saw that being promoted, lesbianism and gayism and all that. And I was like, what? Settlements for children to watch? That means it could be intentional. I mean targeted towards the Africans through that social media platform, and I think it should be corrected. Now, the government at the point we're considering slashing out social media in Nigeria because they think the citizens are using it as a tool against them. What do you think?
We're talking about the Nigerian context. Yes. Let's if we want to leave it within the Nigerian context, we can draw out meanings from these that are political. It's just like asking me, why was referendum taken away from the constitution? Because always and every time it has been the interest of the politicians to silence the voice of the people. True. You know why? Because it benefits them. And because social media is a television station cannot openly come and say some things.
That's true.
Because it's regulated by a system created by them.
Yes.
But they don't have control of social media. So anybody can wake up, find out the truth, and begin to promote it there. It will be a revelation of their acts.
Someone said something the other day. It was very funny. I won't call the name of the station, but he said even if fire is destroying the entire Nigeria, there's a particular station that will still be showing the Ogbole festival.
It's an act of economic sabotage they are trying to hide. And social media will expose a lot of things. And they know these people, Nigerians will always voice their pain.
Yes.
You can't be in pain and tell me how to cry.
You can't beat drum and ask someone not to dance.
Yeah, you can't even so they want to imagine a country where you create a barrier and you ask the people to run. That's the context we live in. So it's not going to be a strange thing to infer from this point that it is because of their own interests.
And
they know that this thing is going to reveal a lot of things that they do not want on the public space. And that is why they are fighting to stop it.
Facts, that's true. Now, the social media, you said some things about the positive impact of the social media space. But again, I think a child of a particular age may not find what is interesting about the social media impactful for them. So at what age do you think one should give a child access to the social media platform?
Okay. Thankfully I did a research recently on the influence of brand endorsements by celebrities on social media, particularly for young adults between 18 and 30. So in that research I did some findings. First of all, it is a clear fact now. By fact, I mean statistic fact.
Yes, fact.
According to Pew 2023, that people within the age of 12 to 17 now have access to phones. Now, another research by a psychologist in America, Dr. Moti, confirmed also that the use of social media by this category of people, this age bracket,
yes,
it triggers and stimulates the reward center of the brain, and it creates a pathway in the brain that is similar to that of addiction. Are you getting my point? Meaning that we have gotten to a place where a drug addict and a sex addict is not different from a social media addict.
Wow.
So when you classify addiction, put social media.
Social media addiction.
And it is because of this age bracket of people. Confirmation, practical confirmation. Do you know how much of academic decline we are suffering right now? Go and check the statistics of the last JAMB they wrote. Go and check the statistics of the recently released WAEC result. There's a damage that is going to lead to an erosion of our intellectual capacity if we are not taking steps right now to do something about what is going on. Parents, I'm coming to your point. Parents must be proactive within this space. 12 to 17, I mean, look at, there's a prominent, before I mention what age is actually okay, there was a prominent star, one of the most prominent star in football today, Ronaldo, in a recent interview, said something. He said there's a reason why he would not allow his son to have access to a phone, not to even talk of social media. Even as his son has influence. He said the day he sneaked to create a social media account, his son, that very day he got 1 million followers.
My God.
But when he found that, he closed it and completely banned him access from using the phone. So like Ronaldo banned his son, Ronaldo Jr., from accessing it. Why? Because he felt that will stop his potential of becoming one star after his own similitude. You see, right now, social media and phone is going to be a distraction to his growth process in becoming one of the world's best athletes in the world in the nearest future. And so he banned it until a certain age. It's not about affordability.
It's not about affordability.
It's not about that. That you can afford doesn't mean they must have it. It's about discipline. We are trying to create a system that is safe for you and I and everybody to stay. But if we don't take intentional steps to stop certain things, for God's sake, accept the fact that these people are not ripe enough mentally to separate good from bad.
That's right.
The destruction is that because of this primitiveness and the timidness and naivety of their maturity level to understand the difference. Okay, so now parents need to be very proactive in safeguarding that space. There's no, for me, I'm not going to put an age in terms of number to this number or that number, but measure maturity. From 12, I mean, there's no need to be on social media at 12.
No need.
13, 14, 15, there's no need.
Even if that person is showing some signs of maturity.
Yes, no need. Biological maturity is not mental maturity.
Yes.
Yes, so there's no need for them to have it. But again, we can't deny them from their time and the advantages that come with it. One of the advantages is that technology is research for them. Do you understand? But parents can take the initiative to safely guard and monitor what they do with that technology. But as for social media, complete ban.
Because you cannot guard them. You can't monitor them.
Completely banned. But personally, as a parent, for instance, I have a system for checking. You know, I have a system for checking. For instance, if my daughter attempts to download anything with her iPad, I get an instant email.
Wow.
Yes, I get an instant email. I have configured that phone, but that's because I'm tech savvy.
Yes,
I've configured in such a way that any attempt to download, my email gives me a alert. I check. I know already what is going on. You can adopt that. You can use technology to save technology.
Yeah, to save technology. All right, let's even take it the other way around, Mr. Zeke. We've been talking about the child, the impact, the negative effect, and all that. Now, the social media space is, like you said, a place for socialization and all that. Do you think it should be approved, or should we find it normal to find a spouse on social media?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this without being sentimental. I don't know how to say it without being sentimental, but I'll say it because you ask. There are people who have found wives and husbands on social media.
True.
But nobody should normalize looking for a wife on social media. The ones that got husband and wife are the lucky few. They are the lucky few. However, that does not mean it's a standard.
It's not a standard
for looking. Why do I say this? For crying out loud, Mr. Kev. To deal with a relationship physically is big.
It's difficult.
How do you want to fall in love and get married online? You can find, but you cannot take away the need to get to know yourselves, meet yourself before it leads to marriage.
So you think the social media communication is not enough?
It's not enough. There are a lot of cloning and cloaking going on social media.
That's right.
So many content that are being dished out. So many personalities and character. Okay, there's a research that says that the use of social media has led to the decline of self-esteem in people. How? You see your mate in the same bracket who is probably lying and standing in front of a car that is not his own. And somebody takes it to be truth. And you are killing and dying yourself, killing your
that you are not making progress,
that you're not progressing. You start feeling less of yourself. Social media. So there's need for us to understand these things, and we must take, like I said earlier, a proactive step to mitigate these things for ourselves.
Well, you have made the point. So choosing a wife on social media, after the whole social media presence, you must create another platform for both of you to meet. Because what we are seeing right now, someone can just even go live, and yet what their reality is not what you see. Some of these apps can just make them beautiful, and then you will say, man, this girl is one of a kind, and then you marry her while you are abroad.
Let me even shock you. Chatbots today can chat like human beings. Chatbots, somebody who is not human, can chat with you as if
and respond as if
to whatever question you have to. They are trained chatbots, trained to respond to messages like that. Artificial intelligence is here, and it has both good and bad.
It actually has both good and bad, because I had an experience where someone called me, someone chatted me on WhatsApp. I requested for something, and then I said, okay, to be sure that you are the one, call me on a video call. The person actually called on a video call, and then I saw the person, and it was him. It's just that I was talking to him, he was responding to me, but I couldn't hear his voice. And then I was like, oh, how far you cut off your dreads? And he just laughed and all that. I said, okay, let me do the sending. And then I sent, only to realize at last that he wasn't the one.
You see, the fact that they are fake gives confirmation to the fact that original exists. People will always want to infiltrate good things. Let me tell you something very clearly. I am a beneficiary of the use of artificial intelligence. Right before it even became a general concept, I started making something from artificial intelligence. But good use. So it doesn't have to be just that who you are is what you create.
That's right.
Right? Who you are. If you're expecting good from a bad person, it's a wrong expectation. Who you are is what you create. If you're good, your thinking, your creations, your ideas will naturally take shape based on who you are. So that's just it.
Yes.
With good comes evil. Yeah, but the evil is a confirmation to originality.
That's right.
Yes.
Wow, great point, Mr. Zeke. I must say it's been a nice time with Mr. Zeke on this platform, the Black Giant Show. We are still ongoing. We just want to go on a very short break, and we will Welcome back to the Black Giant Show podcast, and we are still here with Mr. Ezekiel Ogbole. That's his name on social media. You can even follow him. See, we've been enjoying ourselves here with some very vital information coming from Ezekiel Ogbole. What a crowded knowledge, and I must tell you the truth. I am learning, right? I'm learning, and the social media is beginning to make sense, even though there are the negative aspects of it, like you have mentioned. Now, to further continue with this section, Mr. Zeke, what are the ways one can explore to make money through the social media platform?
Yeah, you see, there are numbers of ways you can make money online through social media, but it begins by fulfilling certain criteria. Primarily YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can get monetized, and you make money from contents that you create and you post. Beginning from YouTube, for instance, the algorithm is written in such a way that it favors you if you are into active content creating. And the criteria is 1,000 watch hours and 60,000 watch hours and then 1,000 subscribers to become monetized. And once you're monetized, there are certain amount that comes to you on a monthly basis for just putting up content that engages. The same with social media like Facebook and Instagram. It comes down to creating content and having followers who engage. From that, you can build a source of income. Secondly, influencer marketing and endorsement of brands. What does that mean? There are people like the likes of Brain Jota and the rest of them, right, who have become TikTok celebrities. And you don't even need the refinement and qualification that comes with going to school. Anybody just have something that engages and have followers. Brand, you can endorse their products, their services, and they pay you in millions, running from 1 year to even 2 years, in millions, just to influence for them. It's another way social media can be used. So there are many other ways.
And he was talking about brand influencing. Yes, we can actually influence your brand. Why not take advantage of the Black Giant Show podcast to talk about your brand, or to run an advert and have people watch? Yes, now that will eat your money.
Yeah. So again, you can sell physical products and services. Logistics is becoming simple and simplified through technology today.
That's right.
So even if you have physical products, you can put it up on the Facebook market space.
Yes.
And sell, right? You don't need the bricks and mortar that comes with storage and all of that. You can market your product there and sell. You can even do drop shipping in case you don't even have the money to buy these products. You can partner with someone who has the products. They bring it. You don't even need to see the product. Just market it. And once an order is placed, the whatever they need to do from that end, they will supply it, and you make your own cut from it. Thanks to social media space.
That's great. The social media space actually have a lot of advantages. Now, what is the psychological, emotional, physical, and social effect of the social media space?
Let me start from the sociological impact. Do you know right now that the consumption of social media, by research still by Pew, June 2023, discovered that the use of social media is leading to the decline in social skills for boys, and is leading to loneliness for girls.
Wow.
Fact based on research. This is empirical. Now, what is the problem with this? We are now getting to a place socially where we are now losing our capacity to feel the impulse of people genuinely. I'm driving gradually.
Yes.
Do you know that today, if something is going on here, if this place is on fire, God forbid, the first thing people would want to do is bring out their phone
and take videos,
so that they will be the first
to post,
to create a popular content and post. Social media is silencing the human empathy and the humanness in us. I have witnessed this where a car was on fire, instead of rushing to do something collectively, people were bringing out phone
to video.
You can't even keep. We are now, people cannot even sustain an intellectual conversation. You know why? They are used to social media so much that if you keep them side by side, let's have a natural conversation on issues that borders on life. They don't have it.
No content.
Why? Because they believe it's all keys, tabs, and touch. That is leading to a decline in our social skills. Go to a meeting today, even in the church, there are people who are practically on their phone from beginning of service
to the end of service.
To the end of service.
That's true.
What are they doing?
Social media.
Not only that, even if you go to a formal meeting with people sitting down to have discussion, social discussion on corporate matters, you find that there are people on their phone. And so that capacity to create and engage with the conversation, we are losing it. We are losing our humanness. Those are the social and emotional consequences. Loneliness for girls is one of the consequences, and decline in social skills for boys.
Because as long as I can chat you up, I mean, what's the need of saying?
You get that now. And so this is a problem. Why is it a problem? You must have people around you. And I want to think that the reason is not, there are homes that have gotten divorced because the man or the wife is too consumed with social media.
That's right. Food in the kitchen got burnt because
a baby I've seen a baby being thrown away because of phone. The roller was going away and she was busy on the phone.
Oh,
if not for a passerby that came to the rescue. It was a content that was posted there.
Now you are driving this towards marriage, and I like it. So many things happen in our own.
It is because we are losing our human capacity to socialize and connect from a deep place. Why? Because we think we can have that sense of humanity from what we see. Don't be deceived. Having 1 million followers is not equal to having 1 million friends.
Having 1 million followers
on social media
is not equal.
It's not equal to having one good friend. You know why? When the chips are down, when you cry out on social media, they will not be there to feel the pain that you are going through. Never, it must never get to a point where you sacrifice real connection and relationship
for social media followers.
Social media. Never. But it's coming there. It's crawling to that point.
Gradually. Where someone who have a lot of followers on social media is feeling like I don't need anybody.
1 million followers is not equal. Tell me why the rate of suicide and the rest is escalating. People can no longer talk to themselves. But there was a sense of community that kept our parents together.
That's right.
You don't hear these things.
Now, Mr. Zik, you have gone so deep and it's bringing some point. I want us to dive into marriage, the effect of social media in the level of divorce that we have now, because it looks like character has been affected. Wives are always online. Sometimes you come back from work and then you realize there's no food, and your wife is busy, facing the lights, trying to create content on TikTok. Now, what are the effects of social media in marriages?
Sadly, we thought initially that it was a modern problem with Gen Zs. Sadly, old men and women have inherited the passion and appetite of young people. Who to correct? No even day again.
Hey, my God.
This is causing a big problem in the marriage front. Social media, if you cannot discipline yourself, remember where I started from. What is supposed to be assisting us is now determining how we live. I said it from the beginning.
Yes, you did.
So that initially we should be controlling. It's now controlling us.
It's now controlling us.
So that you can have something on the fire and it burns down to black because you are engaging on social media. To
the extent smoke in the room, you still not recognize that something is burning.
What did I tell you about the statistics on the similarity between taking drugs and consuming social media?
You said something like
that. It can become an addiction.
Wow.
And anything that is an addiction, you can't control it on your own anymore.
That's true.
Because a neural pathway has been created mentally, and dopamine is always released every time you engage with it. So you get satisfaction to the point that you can forget everything happening around you. That is why it's called an addiction.
And the addiction of social media can be very deadly, because I could remember before now, while preparing for the FAPI and other events, I could practically want to go out and meet certain people for sponsorship and all that, but now I just want to communicate with them on social media, and not everybody would like it that way, and then you see a decline in acceptability and all that. So the social media space, when it comes to usage, I think one should also try as much as possible to mix, I mean, the flares of our...
It's an assistive. I've said it. It's an assistive.
Assistive. Yes,
assistive
that's the word.
means to assist.
Assist.
To help.
That is not the major.
It's to help us in how we live, not decide and determine living.
Wow, wisdom. I believe everybody is getting it like I am, because I am getting so informed. Wow, the Black Giant Show is one that you should get addicted to, because it's not a bad one. You're going to get to learn a lot of things. Now, Mr. Zeke, you've done a lot of justice to most of the questions that have come through. But before I go to my last question, I also want to ask the advent of AI.
Okay.
Do you think it's going to gradually or conclusively take away the place of human, assistance or human capacity?
Okay. Let me say that the world must get ready for what is coming. We have not even scratched the surface of artificial intelligence and what it can do. I put up something recently that has to do with where the world might likely get into in terms of artificial intelligence, virtual reality. There's another one coming. And I told you earlier before we began the show, a time is going to come where sitting down like this to interact and connect as friends is going to be big luxury.
Wow.
It's going to be premium luxury.
That's true, because we've not seen for a long time, because we've been communicating.
Virtual reality, artificial intelligence will change the name of the game.
Where we can practically sit like this.
It's changing the name of it. And now, the consequences of this rocket science innovation is that jobs will be lost. People will get out of job. Yes. But you see, the good news is this: with every problem come an equal chance for growth and opportunity.
But that's for those who would understand the system, because it requires some level of education, if you ask me.
If you study trends, times and seasons, you will understand that there is nothing changing right now. Let me buttress further. In the time and age of famine was what it took to succeed. So it will be unfair. It will be unfair of this generation and this season to now say in the period of technology should not be what it takes to succeed. Hey, your ignorance is not an excuse. Wow. Your ignorance is not an excuse. And why it's not an excuse is because, oh my God, there are resources
that you can easily
access and become one immediately. Just give yourself 6 months of one hour every day. You can become a tech savvy. And you don't have to be a profound code writer. Just knowledge of how things work. Yes, but as much as artificial intelligence, robot, virtual reality will come, don't think about it. There's never going to come a time where creativity will not be required by humans. No fear.
Now you're balancing it.
No fear.
Yeah, because
at every point in time, even the artificial intelligence, they are just trained to do a particular thing. Creativity is always the advantage of humanity. No technology can take away creativity from man.
That's right.
And humans. But create along the path of where the world is going. Get that? So if you can balance it, you won't be a
balance it, and it won't be a problem. Balance it, both in the political circle, entertainment industry, sports, religious circle, especially the religious circle. Balance it. A time is coming we may not even needfully, gather under a particular structure called a church. It could just happen through other visual means, and then we pay our offering through those platforms and all of that. We'll be done. We're getting very close to that. So lastly, for this section, Mr. Zik, what are the regular abuses of the social media platform?
Many of them, some of them we've put up, or we've talked about them already. First of all, the illusion and deception that comes, and then there are people who don't understand how this thing work, social media space, so much that we take things as they come to be true. Deception is going. Don't take everything you see as truth until you are verified. They may be true before, but not now again, because of even the people you are seeing up there, the things they display. Don't mistake photoshopped photos to mean that life is good for everybody.
Right? A big lesson.
Yes, you have to be cautious of this. Self-esteem, low self-esteem is not a choice to make. Although it's a modern concern because of social media, but it's not a choice to make. Know thyself and be comfortable with what you find about yourself.
That's right. Know thyself and be comfortable with what you find about yourself. Wow, Mr.
Before you close,
yes.
Let me just add to this, know thyself. Fine, in closing, there's a modern battle that some of these experts, marketers, scientists, technologists are using to cook concept and then dish it out on social media. And then you forget your sense of self and then begin to dance along because they know you will engage with their content. There's what I call culture shaping that is going on in the social media space right now. That is why look at now, nakedness is fashion.
It's fashion right now.
Today, we've gotten to a point where nakedness is now fashion, and to be covered is old fashion. But let me tell you this, and the audience should listen to this. There's never going to come a time in human history where discipline, self-respect, character, regard will go out of date.
There will never
come a time in human history.
No matter the technology that
these are principles that are relevant from the beginning of time
till the end of time,
will continue to the end of time. Indiscipline can never be in vogue, no matter how promoted it is. Principle of life. So these things, you go after them because they will never fail.
They will never fail.
Yes.
Wow, beautiful, Mr. Zik. I wanted to ask my final question because I'm concerned about the aged people.
Yes.
Who may not be able to operate the modern system of technology and all that, and the advent of all of these AI and all other visual technology coming up. What impact will it have on them, and how will they cope?
If you say age, between what age, so that we'll know what we are talking about?
Our fathers, my father cannot assess.
Okay.
He's educated, but he can't go that far.
Let's put it within the age of 60, 70.
Above.
No, even socially, at that age, you have excused them from their time of productivity.
Wow.
Yes, we have, even the environment, the people, the corporate space have relieved them of their capacity.
So there's a time into that now.
To what? To productivity?
Yes.
In the corporate space?
Yes.
Yes. You get to a certain age right now, even if you have been there for just 2 years, as long as you are that old, they take you out of the system.
But we have a president who is over 80.
You see, if you talk about the Nigerian context, Nigeria is a peculiar place. Now, and again, he's there. He's supposed to be there to provide leadership. That means borrow from his experience. that he has gathered over the
time
years to steward a nation to growth. That is what that position should do. Just like for everybody, there's a season of your life where you must sit down and your only job is mentoring the next generation. If God give you that life to live to that point, that is your only job there. And that's why I'm telling you that if our old men have not inherited the appetite of young people, the environment, we have hope that someday it will be better. But if we get to that place where, that's why I said discipline, self-respect, and all these things can never go out of it. But who will give it to us? These are the people to tell us, look, since when time began to when it will end, these things will technology cannot erode it.
Technology cannot erode intelligence. It cannot erode discipline, morality. It cannot wash away the place of integrity and all of that. Wonderful section we've had here, and I believe you enjoyed every part of it. My name is Lawrence Ogbole, and this is my time. For the Black Giant Show podcast with Ezekiel Ogbole here with me, and we discussed about the social media platform, its advantages, and every other thing that comes with it. Now, you need to go and subscribe on our social media platforms, Black Giant TV on YouTube and all other social media platforms, and Lawrence Ogbole, of course, on all other social media platforms. I think you are Ezekiel Ogbole on other social media platforms, and you have a lot to learn from his platform. This that you have had today is just a tip of what he comes up with on his platform. Thank you so much for following the Black Giant Show. Till we come your way again with another section, and I tell you the truth, it can only get better. Thank you.